There you have it. Some will say too little, too late. Others will say we've stopped the rot. MG, what say you?
I say the latter. We stopped the rot. I think that in sport, you're only as good as your last game. In New South Wales, they avoided the clean sweep. Their debutants were fantastic. Bradman Best scoring 2 tries on debut. Callum Matungi in defence was awesome. Tedesco was back to his scintillating best. Cody Walker, man of the match, much deserved. So it was a different looking New South Wales, and obviously you play a little bit different when there's no pressure on. Queensland last night, but they come up with a couple of un-Queensland-like moments, i.e. the resting of Fifita, who scored the first try of the game. I think he was replaced after 15 or 20 minutes, and we didn't see him until the last 10 minutes of the game. So that was a bit of a faux pas from the Queenslanders. But as far as New South Wales go, Mickey, 16-10 at half-time, holding Queensland to no points in the second half was a fantastic effort in defence, and I think that's one thing that Brad Fittler would be very, very proud of today. Freddie's a bit of a realist. Freddie knows that last night was kind of a bit of an audition for his coaching job. He knows that if he went out 3-0, I don't even think he would have expected to be the New South Wales coach next year. But now that they've showed and saved a bit of face, I think he's the man for the job. And I'd like to know I'd love to know what our listeners think as well.
All right. Well, you're a mate of his. Can you tell me with certainty that he wants the job? I mean, this is the other factor we haven't. He's been under a lot of pressure now for a couple of series. There might be a point when someone goes, I don't need this shit. I'm too old for this rubbish. What are you thinking?
That's a very good point you make. He has been under the pump. This, in particular, this series, and already in today's papers, there's articles about he's gone, and Buzz Rothfield's written an open letter to him about saying goodbye to him, and I think that's all premature. I think that he showed last night that was an audition, and he handled it well. He made a couple of subtle changes last night, not just on the field, but in the coaching box. He had Ivan Cleary sitting with him, and I'm not sure why, but it might have worked. So maybe someone like an Ivan Cleary who has coached back-to-back premierships, and having him in the box just for a little bit of a what we do there what do you think about that? I liked it. I think sometimes you've got to employ your weaknesses, and Freddie did that last night. So look, good win, Mickey. Feel a lot better today than I have the last 2 games after an Origin game, because we did save some face.
All right, I'm just going to put this to you. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's what they're writing in the papers today, and I have put up to you. There's conspiracy theories that Billy Slater is a genius who allowed New South Wales to win Game 3 and allowed Freddie Fittler to outcoach him, so that Freddie will be re-signed and the team will be reorganised and Tedesco will come back. Now, I know we need something to talk about, but I just need you to address the conspiracy theories floating around. What do you say about that?
That's exactly what they are. I think someone's been talking to Natasha Belling too much, because that's exactly what she thought as well. Look, no. Billy would have been disappointed by his team last night, and as I said, you're only as good as your last game, and now they've got 11 months to go through that last game again. And I think that showing last night, Cody Walker's inclusion was unbelievable. His attack was fantastic. Bradman Best on debut. Queensland were down. They missed Reece Walsh. They really missed Reece Walsh last night, and I think at the end of it, that was almost the difference, because Brimson, while a good player, didn't make the most of the opportunities he was afforded from Queensland's middle forward. So, that conspiracy theory is just that, a conspiracy theory. You want to win every game you coach, and I'm pretty sure that Queensland wanted to have the first clean sweep in Origin since 2010, Mick.
Is there anyone obvious waiting in the wings? It's one thing to say, let's get rid of the coach, but what is the plan B? Is there something obvious? Is there someone you would think hypothetically is ready to step up?
I find it hard to come up with a name that comes straight to mind that could fill the void. Freddie's a bloke who does so much, and it's been written about. He does so much for the blue jersey, both on the field, away from the field, with his Hogs for Homeless, spreading the word. We used to go to when he first started as coach, he got a heap of mates on Harleys and went out to the country areas, and they were all Queensland supporters. So Freddie wanted to change that type of tone and start spreading the word of how good the Blues are and helping out some homeless people and stuff like that. And he does so much. He is New South Wales as far as I'm concerned, and I think he deserves another year. I think after that performance last night, it shows us we've got a little bit more to give. And, as I said, 11 months away from another series. A lot could happen in between then. Latrell will be back. Tommy Trebojevic will be back. Don't forget we lost them players. Payne Haas didn't play last night. I mean, we had some heavy artillery out last night that can be back next year and make Freddie's job a lot easier as well.
Where's the neutral game next year? I believe it's the
I think
MCG.
Melbourne.
Is
I
it
think
not?
MCG.
And is it game one? See, this seems to me to be the truth where these series are won and lost. You need to win the neutral game, and then it's all going to plan, isn't it? So that's what you have to mount yourself for, and make sure you bring your A game. Jay's on the line. Jay, what do you make of it?
Morning, miserable Queenslander here, guys. How you going? Look, I think it's an absolute freaking joke, mate. Let's be honest. How close was this series? That first game could have gone either way. Yeah. We come out and towel you up there at home, and then you come down here and towel us up. I can't believe they're even talking about this. Why would you get rid of a bloke that's got a 4-3 record?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go with conspiracy theory. You want him to stay because you want to win next year.
Mickey, you're all over me, you bastard.
Jay, let's not let Liddy Queenslanders in on this conversation. They're not to be trusted on any level. Block that call right now. Jay, you're blocked. Darren's on the line. Darren, what do you make of it all?
Well, I think, as MG said, Freddie does a lot outside the game and he does a lot for the game, although the selections have given a lot of instability and no direction to the team. The decision to play Cook in the centres when we had edge-back roles there ready to go, which slot straight in, was a poor decision. I think a lot of it comes to our captain as well. Freddie had an amazing game last night based on effort. When you watch his games over the last few months, if the Roosters, the effort just hasn't been there.
Yeah. Do you want to reply to that, MG?
Yeah, I take it on board. This is why it's such a healthy debate when you're talking about state of origin. It invokes so much emotion because it's our passion, and I understand both sides of the ledger. I do. I think Freddie will look back on the series and say to himself, I might have been able to do that better. I could have been able to do that better. But at the end of the day, Queensland in them first two games were rampant. They're a good rugby league team. They were very, very good. And sometimes when you've wrapped up the series as Queensland have, you subconsciously take your foot off the pedal a little bit. It's very hard to win a dead rubber. Well, it's almost impossible because it's only been done 3 times from Queensland in their history. So I'll take on board that exactly what he says about some selections and that. But I think at the end of the day, when, as you said, Mick, the question you asked me about who's next, who's in line, no one springs to mind. No one jumps out and says he'll be an awesome state of origin coach. I think going forward, Freddie will tinker with a couple of things, and I like the fact that, as I said before, that Ivan Cleary was in the coach's box with him last night. I like that. I really do.